Hi, everybody. I'm Ross Treelev, and this is another Sprague Spotlight interview. Today, I'm with Ashley. Ashley, could you introduce yourself to everyone?
Hello, I'm Ashley Roden. I'm one of Sprague's regional entomologists. I've worked at Sprague almost 8 years, I think now. So
Almost, yeah,
yeah,
almost eight
it's been a
years.
while.
My goodness, it seems like time is flying. Tell me about your journey at Sprague and what that's been like.
Yeah, so I started out as a just a route manager. My route was in Burien, SeaTac, and Renton, Washington. Had a lot of fast food places and grocery stores. Um, Not really food plants. It was all these smaller businesses. I did not know what I was doing at first. I think everyone feels that way probably if they haven't done pest control before. So I had a background, of course, I have a master's degree in entomology, but that's very academic. I can tell you like what order each insect belongs to, things that customers don't care about, all that fun stuff. But that's not, it's useful, but it's not necessarily something you need to have a route. Had lots of rodent issues, which I had no background in, but it was a lot of fun. I liked going to different businesses and seeing how different people operate and what restaurants are like in the back for good and for worse. It it was a great experience. After that, I was a technician at the airport, and I'm sure everyone has heard those stories.
Well, where did your passion for entomology come from?
So I wanted to be an entomologist. We didn't really know the term entomologist. My parents didn't. Um, since I was in kindergarten, I said I wanted to be like a bug doctor or bug expert. I grew up in Georgia, so it's a lot hotter, lots of humidity. The insects are way bigger. And I grew up in a rural area, so I spent my youth going around picking up random insects and spiders and arthropods off the ground and collecting them. They all died. I was never good at keeping them alive. So I think that was um, something that's helped me currently in my current job.
That's still the case, I think. You're not really good at keeping them
No, I'm not
alive
good at
now.
keeping things alive at all. But since COVID, I have a new hobby, which is houseplants. I used to kill all my houseplants, and now I have 50 of them. And I started at like zero, and now I have 50. Um, and they are mostly staying alive.
Wow.
So, and what's great about houseplants is you can take cuttings from them and make more houseplants. You don't have to buy them.
Wow. So this is just a new thing that's popped up since COVID?
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if it can be maintained if I have like my old travel schedule back. Some of these guys need to be watered like daily.
Will we start
But
seeing houseplants arriving at corporate?
yeah, I was thinking about like yeah, setting up a grow light and putting some plants that don't need to be watered that often at the corporate office. So
That's pretty cool.
I have to thank Annie. Annie's actually the one that really got me into it.
Well, shout out to Annie on that one. That's
Yeah,
pretty
she
cool.
sent me some plants. But I'm always looking if anybody wants to trade plant cuttings, email me.
Well, a new plant arrived. It's my grandmother's Bernie Treeleven's Christmas cactus. A version of it
Yep.
arrived over here in the sales department to my right. And so that has been alive for over 50 years. I'm not exactly sure how long it has been. And we'd be happy to get you a clipping of that the next time you're in the office.
Oh yeah, I have a Thanksgiving cactus, and I like the Christmas cactuses better. So
Well, we're happy
it's
to
called
slice it off.
if you don't ask permission, it's called prop lifting. You go and like take a little cutting. It's not ethical to do. You should always ask
This one is
permission.
ethical because everybody in our family, and our family, as you know, is enormous, has a clipping of this and has their own version of it growing. There's one on my counter. There's one here now in sales. I believe it's been evicted from my brother's house. So we are happy to help you with Grandma's Christmas cactus.
It's actually helped with my job because I'm learning about like pests of houseplants, and I've like we have gnat. Sometimes we get calls for fungus gnats, and reading about houseplants I'm like, oh, that's how you deal with them. Just put sand. The tip is just put sand on top of the soil, and then the fungus gnats can't emerge anymore.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. They don't talk about it like in urban pest management, but if you get into house plants, you just pour a little sand on top, and then that stops the life cycle.
You know, that is going to create so much good value for us in the commercial property space where fungus gnats are a leading.
No, I didn't know what to do. We repeatedly have had questions about fungus gnats, and apparently the answer is just put sand on top.
That's so awesome. Well, who encouraged your development while you were in school? You mentioned your master's. Who was some of the people who encouraged your development when you were in school?
So I did kind of I didn't go directly into entomology. My undergrad was actually in environmental health, which is like public health. So it was in public health. And one of the classes we could take was an urban entomology class. So that's when I first took it. First took my first entomology class. It was an undergrad urban entomology class, and we had to do a collection, and it's so much fun to do a collection. So I started talking to the entomology students, and some of them are still my friends to today. Till today, they may not be working in entomology, but they have a great love for insects. It's always great if you can find a community of people that share like one of your passions and are like really deep dive into it. So it was a lot of the other students in the entomology department.
That's cool. Well, when you got here, obviously your journey, you've had several roles in Sprague. Who's encouraged your development while you've been here?
Obviously, probably Jeff Weir the most. So when we were in the office, my desk was like right across from his office, and I think we just like yelled at each other like things all day. So, but it's, you know, he's great to bounce ideas off of, and yeah, I wouldn't be where I am today without him. So
yeah,
Bill spent like all morning talking, like going over some pesticide label with him this morning. So it's fun to like tear things apart and figure out if they're useful and all of that with him.
For those who haven't been here before, right outside the office here is Ashley's desk, and they had a running conversation. I felt like I got residually smarter listening or being exposed to this all the time. So
there's like dead insects everywhere and like random books, and yeah, he has a lot of knowledge that is not in any textbook. So people think they can learn everything possible on the internet. It is not possible to learn everything about our industry on the internet. Like there's a lot that lives in people's minds. And
for instance, we would never have known about how to effectively eliminate fungus gnats emerging from houseplants because it's not in the literature, but now we know.
Yeah, it's funny how it's so important to like cross-pollinate with other industries, because you get in your own little segment and you don't even know what other people are doing. Absolutely. And they might have an answer you need.
Absolutely. Well, what's an example of a project that you're working on or that you've finished that you're passionate about?
You know, probably what I am really passionate about is not insects, it's the rodent stuff we've been doing. So we've been trying to make our company better at rodents, rodent control. You know, we still have a long way to go, but starting to use game cameras, starting to use remote sensing, starting to really understand how smart these animals are and the different ways to control them. That's been my passion for the last couple of years.
Yeah. And one of the ones that we were just talking about on the meeting I had before was the rodenticide reduction plan that you've really been captaining and spearheading. That seems to be going pretty well too.
Yeah, well, when I started at Sprague, and I'm sure a lot of you remember this, we took contract block, bagged it, and put it in every station. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty mindless. And it, you know, in some cases it provided great control, but in some cases I don't think that was the best thing to do. So trying to encourage people to not keep using the same product, think about why you're choosing the product you're choosing. We do that with ant baits. We do that with roach baits. We don't just like randomly put the same roach bait in every single account. You know, different roaches want different food additives in their bait. They might be resistant. There's, you know, the same thing with rodents. So trying to encourage our employees to be thoughtful about their choices and all of that.
How's your job changed during the pandemic here? What's been different for you?
Well, one thing is my eyes now hurt from looking at my computer screen more often. These are like blue light glasses. So that has very changed the screen time. Before I was traveling every week practically. So there were times when I wouldn't, I mean, I guess it's kind of similar now. You don't see me at the office that often, but before I wasn't at the office that often either because I was always out and about somewhere. You know, I used to attend a lot of conferences, speak at a lot of conferences, do training for our branches, all of that in person. And now it's mostly over a screen. So that's definitely changed. I do miss going out to our branches and seeing everyone together. I think everyone's probably missed that.
Yeah. Well, it used to be very busy in here on Mondays, and then it would clear out as everybody went to the different borough or the different area that they were headed to. And now it's different. It's different. So you're recently awarded the 2020 Operations Champion Award here. What did that mean to you?
It was very exciting. It meant that I felt like, you know, especially at the beginning of the pandemic, I think everyone was like stressed. I think I had like a stress headache and eye twitches, and we were talking about like disinfection and, you know, protocol for that. And like, what are we going to do? How are we going to like protect our employees? And so I spent a lot of time, especially on the disinfection part. And I feel like that people noticed and valued that I was spending a lot of time on these things that ended up being very important to our company.
Absolutely. And, you know, I should have called it the Jeff Miller Operations Champion, as that's the official name of the award. As we think about like last year and all of your extraordinary efforts, as well as, of course, those of so many people at the organization, what does winning an award named after Jeff Miller mean?
Oh, well, it means a lot because Jeff obviously, you know, how many years? Was it like 40?
I think we just hit 45 years.
I mean, if you get any award named after somebody who's been like contributed so much to an organization that you found value, you know, 45 years of value. I mean, that's amazing.
It's pretty cool. He's going to be missed around here, but thank goodness he's not going to be just retiring and saying see you later. He's going to be sticking around a little bit.
Yeah, I run into, well, I when I was going to conferences, just like talking to people about how, you know, Sprague's having people retire, and it's important to get that knowledge from the people that are leaving because, and still having access to them is awesome because there's knowledge that our employees that have been here decades have that, again, aren't in any book. You can't Google it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Well, Ashley, congratulations and thank you for joining me today on the Spotlight interview.
Thank you.